SmackDown just feels like a filler show now. It just feels irrelevant. You have one champion in the WWE now, Roman Reigns. This means he can face anyone from SmackDown or Raw. WrestleMania Backlash is just around the corner, and Roman Reigns is facing, we don't know. Maybe no one. Maybe he's gonna watch the show. If that's the case, I highly recommend Ryback's Cheetos and Lesnar's milk for a better experience. Instead, SmackDown is focusing on irrelevant rivalries like Drew McIntyre vs Sami Zayn, Corbin vs Madcap Moss. Ronda vs Charlotte should feel big, but it doesn't. Every time the show opens with Charlotte Flair, I swear to God, if Charlotte Flair is about to cut the same promo, I'm gonna rip my balls off. Guess how many balls I have now? We have the undisputed WWE champion for like a few weeks now, and you can already feel the effects. It's gonna be hard to make these shows feel important without the World Championship being the main focus of the show. WWE pushed themselves into a corner. Roman Reigns being on both Raw and SmackDown every week, well, he would suffer from overexposure, obviously. Roman Reigns not being on every show leaves the shows without the World Championship, so every situation possible is just not as good as having two championships in the WWE. And this SmackDown, let's talk about it. This video is sponsored by Wrestling GM. I know how much you all love GM mode, but if you want a GM mode with no limitations, Wrestling GM is a great choice. What I like about this game is that it basically gives you all the tools you need. Pick your promotion, manage your roster, championships, you can upgrade your product, build teams, factions, rivalries, check your show's history, sign free agents, and much more. And of course, try your best to book the best wrestling show possible. And it's a game I've already played on my channel, and I had a lot of fun. If you wanna check out Wrestling GM series on my channel, click on the playlist by using the link in the description. Wrestling GM is available on both iOS and Android devices. Download the game by using the link in the description. You're so hard on AEW, WWE, you think you can book a better show? Well, prove it. Download the game. Welcome everybody to another episode of Greatness of SmackDown. It's getting really hard to make these reviews. You know, I'm actually playing a GM mode right here with these, Raw and SmackDown reviews. If nothing interesting happens, I have to think of ways to make a thumbnail, I have to think of ways to make the title more interesting, I have to think of ways to, bring in interesting topics, because nothing feels important. And it's not like everything was bad on this show, not at all. I actually enjoyed quite a few moments. How do I put this? It doesn't want to make me watch the pay-per-view. Obviously, the show kicks off with Charlotte Flair. We saw a contract signing between Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair, and Adam Pearce doesn't have the contract. Luckily, Drew Gulak, his personal assistant, brings the contract. And by that point of the show, I'm already sitting without my balls. Adam finds it funny. And Charlotte Flair was being annoying as usual, cutting the same promo. She was just adjusting her bra. She always finds a way to win, like she did at WrestleMania. And that was the whole promo. She reminded Ronda Rousey that she won at WrestleMania. But Ronda says there will be no referee to save Flair this time. This time Flair will have to say Ronda is better than her. Flair flips the table over, grabs a hidden kendo stick, and attacks Ronda Rousey. Gulak breaks the brawl, but Ronda is not happy. She's never happy. As a matter of fact, she has a I'm not happy face. So she beats the crap out of Gulak, locks him in, and signs the contract. What's the point of this, by the way? I didn't make a review for last week's show. What's the deal with Drew Gulak? I don't mind him. By the way, Ronda Rousey interrupting Gulak and not giving us a PowerPoint presentation was the worst wrestling moment of all time. Such a heel move. Not in a good way. I legit hate her. Like, Drew Gulak is talented. At one point, they actually tried to push the guy. What's happening right here? I like Gulak. I don't know, man. This story just ain't for me. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. And like I've said, man, Charlotte needs a character change. During the show, we saw Xavier Woods versus Butch, which was decent, I guess. Again, I'm just not interested in the story, though. And it's also weird because in this match, Xavier Woods picked up the W. So, I believe this is the second Butch match in the WWE. I could be wrong, but I believe this is also the second time he lost. I don't even mind the gimmick that much. I think this faction is somewhat interesting. Lacks credibility, of course, but Butch is an interesting character. so he should win more. Ricochet wants to be one of the greatest intercontinental champions of all time. Better change the design, buddy. Jinder Mahal wants the match, but Shanky wants it too, so I assume next week we're getting Shanky versus Ricochet. Shanky needs to come. Veer came, and he's already a new man. He's stronger than Jinder Mahal now. Shanky needs to go on a no-fap journey and then return after like 5 months, and he'll be a different man once he comes. We saw Gunta versus Teddy Goods. Again, another squash match. Gunta wins the match, of course, obviously. Damn, I want this guy to succeed. He's so different compared to anyone else in the wrestling world. Gunta, Walta, Gunther, Gunta. I don't know, whatever you want to call this guy, he's really talented, he's very different, he has the look. Please don't give up on this guy because I can already see WWE doing something stupid. It happened before. I actually like this segment. We saw RK Bro and Drew McIntyre. Obviously, there's history between Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. Riddle calms things down and says he signed RK Bro up to a Lumberjacks match tonight with Sami Zayn. Drew says, I saw what the RK Bro did with the Bloodline. Anyone who stands up with Bloodline is good in my book. Orton says, Drew, we're good. I like these kind of moments. I like when WWE actually acknowledge history. And it's not like Drew McIntyre actually has legit reasons to be mad at Randy. I feel like Orton at this point, well, it's been for a long time actually now. He's one of these guys who's like, he can do anything. He can literally do anything. He can punt kick John Cena's dad, set The Undertaker on fire, whatever it may be. You can't be mad at him. It's just Randy being Randy. Riddle was Jey Uso was next. This was a pretty interesting match. We saw a couple of distractions, but Riddle still came out on top once we saw the Uso splash reversed into a pin. You know, I've realized I would really love to see Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns, and hopefully this is leading towards this match. This could be big. We saw this match before, but that was back then when Roman kinda sucked. Then we saw the women's tag team champions, and Natalya and Shayna Baszler challenged them. The segment sucked, but again, I'm just happy that they actually are using the championships now. They exist. Awesome! Baron Corbin was the bigger man right here and said, you know, Madcap Boss, we've been through a lot and I'm ready to forgive you. Let's be friends again. So you want me to be your sidekick again, huh? Yes. There is as big of a chance of me being your sidekick as you growing back your hair. This ship has sailed and my man is laughing. Feelings got hurt. Madcap must turn into a babyface and he's already making better jokes. I love wrestling. So then we saw Madcap Moss actually kinda squash Angel Garza. He won the match very quickly, and after the match we saw Baron Corbin attacking Madcap Moss, and not only that, as we all know, Baron Corbin is a former Andrew the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner. I think the trophy is going to get destroyed. Madcap Moss is good. I don't see him being successful with that gimmick. It's not bad, right? Like right now it's actually entertaining somewhat. I don't think it's gonna work though. Sami Zayn heard what Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton were talking about, so he goes to Roman Reigns' locker room and says, I acknowledge you, I really do. He basically warms up Roman Reigns' Coco Jumbo. He says he's very valuable, he can be very valuable. He's somewhat of a locker room leader. You have your own locker room right here, you know, but I'm a locker room leader. So he basically asks for a little help and he will help in return. Guess if he received the help. Roman Reigns said, my locker room is talking crap about me, take care of it. But it's not like he actually wants to help Sami. So we saw the Lumberjack match, which was actually the main event. I don't necessarily mind it, but it just doesn't feel important. Maybe if all of these guys focused on the championship, okay, I'm a big fan of Drew, I'm a massive fan of Sami Zayn, but the championship is not even the focus right here. So yes, during the match we saw the Usos attacking RK Bro, but they just left, they didn't help Sami Zayn. And in the end, Sami Zayn just left the match. He still found the way. And Adam Pearce says next week you're going to face Drew McIntyre in a steel cage match. Shanky and Jinder attack Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre takes care of that business and the show ends. That's it. And again, it's not necessarily bad. It just doesn't feel important. And there's a big possibility Roman Reigns is injured. I'm not sure. I'm just saying You know, it's kinda interesting how WrestleMania Backlash is just around the corner. We only have one World Championship, meaning we only need one challenger. We only need one big storyline. And yet, we don't have one. It's just kinda... yeah, I don't know. I hate complaining, by the way, but I'm just... You know, I don't even know if I'm right. I'm just saying that in my opinion, my personal opinion, this unification was not needed, and hopefully after Money in the Bank, we are going to have a cash-in for one championship. I'm just not feeling. You can unify the tag team championships, but not the world titles. Not in today's WWE. But anyway, people, thank you for watching this video. The Great One, peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.